Hello, let's have a little book haul, shall we? So at the beginning of the year, I said that I wanted to build up my book collection because right now it's kind of small. And I think we can check that off of my reading goals for the year because I've done some damage in the last couple of months when it comes to purchasing books. And I thought I'd share all of those books with you. Now, first we're going to start off with some books that I got at a recent library sale. I feel like you can find some interesting things at library sales, and a lot of things that are on sale are interesting. I found some really great ones at my library sale. Number one is this nice, gorgeous collection of fairy tales. They're Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, and it's this nice blue leather cover with like gold details. I think it's gorgeous. I mentioned this in my mid-year freakout tag, but I'm mentioning it again because it's stunning. Like, look at it. I love how the gold contrasts with the blue leather of that cover. Beautiful. Next is a graphic novel called Crumbs. It is about this cute little couple. This girl here is a witch, and this couple meets at a magical bakery. It's very cute, very cozy, very fall vibes. So with fall coming up, I highly recommend reading this if you are into graphic novels. Very cute and cozy and magical and perfect for fall. Next, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. This is a nonfiction about creativity, and I like being creative. I want to be more creative. I thought this would just be interesting and help me to be more creative. So that's why I got this one, and I'm excited to read it. The last library sale book that I got is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Let me say, I'm quite pleased with this one and The Creative Act. They are both in beautiful condition, and I got them for like $3 or $4 each. And they're hardcover too. Like, do you see this? Yeah, very pleased with that. Getting back to this book, this is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is a book that I read last year. It's about a magical cafe coffee shop. In this coffee shop, if you get a cup of tea and you sit at a particular table, you can go back in time for just a few minutes as long as you get back before your coffee gets cold. That's the premise of this, and in this book we see a bunch of different people take advantage of this magical phenomenon to revisit people that they haven't seen in a long time or haven't spoken to in a long time. So I feel like this book is just like a really good example of just like how important it is for us to like connect with other people as humans. Like, we're social beings. We need to connect with other people. All of the different ways that we can connect and love other people and what that means. And it's just, I don't know. It's very sweet and cozy. And if you're losing faith in humanity, I feel like this is a nice comforting reminder of just the good in humanity. I went to a sale at a local like thrift/used bookstore, and so here are the 3 books I got at that bookstore. So this book is a good example of the kind of random things that you find a lot of when you go to these library or used bookstore sales. And this book is Let Sleeping Dogs Lie and Other Proverbs from Around the World. On the spine, it says, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, and I happen to be walking around the sale with my very sleepy dog, George, and so when I saw that, I just thought it was funny. I just felt like it was appropriate to pick this up in honor of my sleepy dog. I found this original, the OG cover of The Last Olympian, which is the 5th book in the Percy Jackson series, and it's a hardcover. I want to own the Percy Jackson series because I loved it so much as a kid, and it meant so much to me as a kid. So I found this. It's a hardcover. It's the original cover artwork, the artwork that I grew up reading, and so I was really excited to find this, and I'm going to be on the lookout for more of the original covers, particularly hardcover, so that I can fill out my collection of Percy Jackson books. Woo! All right, another thing that I was pleasantly surprised to find is this like brand new copy, Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is Michelle Obama's autobiography, or is this a memoir? Maybe this is more of a memoir. I don't know. It's in really good condition. It's hardcover. I've listened to the audiobook before, but yeah, I really liked this, and I'm happy to have a physical copy now because it looks really great next to A Promised Land by Barack Obama, but also because I want to reread it at some point and I want to underline my favorite parts. So now I can do that. Yes. These are some books that I bought when I went to Seattle recently. My husband and I traveled to Seattle. We went to some cool local bookstores around Seattle and I got several books. So let's talk about those. The first is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is about a young man who goes on a journey across northern Africa because he has been told that he will find a great treasure at the pyramids in Egypt. This is just the story of his journey from Spain to Egypt and the things he learns along the way, the people he meets, and what they teach him. So this is all about your purpose and how important other people are in our lives and what we can learn from other people. It's very good. I'm very happy to have a copy now. And I'm loving this cover. Look at this. Next book that I got is called Braiding Sweetgrass. This is by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this book is a collection of essays all about nature and plants and just the wisdom and scientific knowledge that we can learn from plants. The woman who wrote this also incorporates indigenous wisdom in this because she is Native American or part Native American, and so I'm really looking forward to this. I've heard that the essays in this are just really beautiful and help you to look at nature a little bit differently and appreciate it more. So I'm really excited about this one. Next is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This was one of my must-read books for the year. If you want to know how I feel about this book, to sum up, I love it, but if you want more details, you can go watch my last reading wrap up. You will get all of the details, all of the nitty gritty, just everything I just loved and ate up about this book. But if I were to just give you a quick synopsis of what this book is, it's all about stories, the stories we tell ourselves, the stories others tell us, and just how important that is to us as humans. We need stories. That's what this book is. It's like Alice in Wonderland if Wonderland was just this magical, mystical, never-ending library. The last book that I picked up when we were in Seattle is Heartstopper Volume 5. This is such a cute book. I love this series. Heartstopper is a series of graphic novels about two teenage boys who fall in love. In this 5th volume of the series, one of our boys, Nick, is preparing to go off to college, and so he's touring different universities, different schools to see where he wants to go, and he's getting a little bit nervous about starting something new, going to a new college, and being separated from Charlie, who is our other boy. I love it. I love this series. I think it's so cute, so light. Well, maybe light is not the right word. It's feel good. It makes you feel good. There are some moments that are heavy. I would say in volumes 3 and 4, there's a lot of talk about like anxiety, and like one of our characters, Charlie, the one here with dark hair, he has an eating disorder. And so in volume 4, Charlie went and did a recovery program for those things. And in this volume, we see kind of the aftermath of that. He's doing really well. He's, trying to get better, trying to get stronger, trying to take better care of himself and become more confident. And so we see all of that in this book. And I just love Heartstopper. It is so cute. So cute. Okay, we're almost there. We're coming down the home stretch. Maybe. These books are just all kind of random books that I've picked up here and there over the past couple of months, and they are all fantasy books. So I guess we'll say this is the fantasy section. Number 1, The Hobbit. I reread The Hobbit earlier this year for the first time in many, many years and just loved it. It was so good. After doing that, I wanted to get my own copy. So here's that. The Hobbit is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings series. If you didn't know that, it is by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings series, which is just like a classic in the fantasy genre. So there's that. After reading The Hobbit earlier this year, I thought to myself, maybe I should read The Lord of the Rings. I have not yet done that, but I did pick up The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first in the Lord of the Rings series. So now, whenever I do get up the courage to read this, I have it. It is ready. It is waiting for me. If you don't know what Lord of the Rings is, it is a fantasy, epic fantasy journey. It's a classic when it comes to fantasy novels. If you don't know what it's about or you haven't heard of it by now, look it up. All right, another classic in the realm of fantasy books is this series right here. This is The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This series is one of the series that got me into reading when I was younger. So yeah, I just loved it, and I'm really happy to have my own set of these books now. And that's all I really have to say about it. It's just magical. love Narnia. There's that. Okay, the last book we're going to talk about is Half a Soul. This is by Olivia Atwater. And this is a cozy fantasy / romance that takes place in like a Regency time period. So like same time period as Bridgerton or Jane Austen, but with a magical twist. Our main character, Theodora, was cursed when she was younger to have half a soul. And because she only has half a soul, it makes the whole getting married thing kind of complicated. And for a young woman at this time, it's kind of important to get married, because if you don't get married, you're kind of in a lot of trouble. Yeah, this is about her trying to figure out a way around her curse so that she can get married and hopefully fall in love. That's Half a Soul, and I am so excited to read this because if you haven't noticed, I really like fantasy. I really like magical stories, but I also really like Bridgerton. So I've heard that this is it's got Bridgerton vibes, but it's also magic. So please sign me up if it's historical, but also has magic in it. Give it to me. Speaking of which, this is a quick, unrelated tangent. I recently watched the show called My Lady Jane and absolutely loved it. So if you have read Half a Soul and you loved this, you might love My Lady Jane, because it's kind of a similar, take a time period in history but make it more magical. That's what it is. But with like Tudor England. Very good. All right, those are all of the books that I've purchased over the last month or two. I've had a lot of fun talking about these books with you today. If you have any recommendations for me when it comes to books that you think I should add to my collection, please comment down below, and I may just add them to my collection. We will see. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble about books, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!